Straight ahead on 12 News, a Brooklyn Center toddler killed in a driveway. How the tragedy brings back terrible memories for a Brooklyn Park family.
Brings you right back of what could have been done differently.
Plus, how Minnesota is leading the way in helping veterans find a job. But first, a Maple Grove council member finishes serving time in the county workhouse for financial crimes involving her dying father. The Hennepin County Attorney's Office believes the punishment is not strong enough. 12 News starts right now. Hello, everyone. A Maple Grove council member convicted of financially exploiting her dying father faces another legal battle.
The Hennepin County Attorney's Office has filed an appeal seeking a felony conviction of longtime Maple Grove council member LeAnn Sargent. Delane Cleveland joins us now to explain. Delane?
Mike and Shannon, Judge Luis Bartolome sentenced LeAnn Sargent to a gross misdemeanor in April for stealing more than $35,000 from her elderly father. Sargent, however, disagrees with the appeal. She says the attorney's office is trying to make an example of her. Court documents show LeAnn Sargent used tens of thousands of dollars of her father's money to buy inventory for an in-home business selling handbags. She was eventually convicted of exploiting her ailing father. Her punishment included time in the county workhouse, in-home monitoring, and restitution to her father's estate. But the Hennepin County Attorney's Office has filed an appeal saying that the sentence wasn't harsh enough. The Star Tribune reports that Sargent's initial punishment didn't meet sentencing guidelines because the amount of money she stole was 100 times more than the statutory limit for a gross misdemeanor crime. The county also argued that the sentence creates the impression that public officials get special treatment in the justice system. Yet despite numerous calls to resign, Sargent remains a member of the Maple Grove City Council. She tells 12 News she plans to return to office once her in-home monitoring finishes in 2 weeks. Sargent declined an on-camera interview request when reached at home today, but she did say that she didn't know what Hennepin County Attorney Mike Freeman has against the city of Maple Grove to make her an example. She thinks he got his facts wrong. Mike and Shannon, there's a Facebook campaign trying to pressure Sargent to resign, but because her conviction wasn't a felony, Maple Grove can't legally force her to leave office. So the drama continues.
All right.
We'll follow it. Thanks, Delane. A Brooklyn Center family continues to be filled with shock and grief after the death of 14-month-old Adeline Lohr. The little girl was run over by an SUV Monday afternoon in the family's driveway. Police confirm it was her father who accidentally backed up over her. A similar tragedy occurred several years ago in Brooklyn Park.
The family of Kim Emmert is keeping memories of their mother alive. They say new technology and improved awareness could help prevent these kind of accidents.
Your heart sinks.
When Alicia Barrett heard about the death of 14-month-old Adeline Lohr in her Brooklyn Center driveway, it immediately brought back terrible memories. It was a neighbor's SUV backing up that killed Alicia's mother, Kim Emmert, in 2009.
It shocks me every day of how long we've gone without her. The heartache and just, as you hear stories constantly about these, it brings you right back of what could have been done differently if we just all slowed down and looked and triple looked.
Alicia says she can't imagine how the father feels after Monday's accident that killed his daughter.
Any event like this is tragic, but just to know that it was a family member with a family member and being able to comprehend that.
These accidents happen more often than you might expect. According to a safety group called Kids and Cars, 2 children are killed every week nationwide in backup accidents. 60% of the accidents involve a large vehicle like a van or SUV, and in 70% of those cases, a parent or close relative is at the wheel. In the Brooklyn Center accident and the one that involved her mother, Alicia says new technologies in cars might have made a difference, like backup cameras that will be mandatory starting in 2018, and cars that sense something in their path and automatically put on their brakes. But she says drivers should not rely only on technology.
Nothing can replace our own eyes and just checking. And even if you have a camera, you shouldn't just let that do all the work.
A fund has been set up to help the family raise burial expenses for Adeline Lohr, and we'll have more information about that on our website, 12.tv.
It's a smartphone world, but sometimes it still comes down to good old-fashioned police work to respond to 911 calls. 4 out of 10 American households have ditched their landlines and are cell phone only. In fact, in Hennepin County, the Sheriff's Office says 80% of 911 calls come from a cell phone. While the advanced technology certainly has its benefits, it can create challenges to determine exactly where you're calling from.
We can tell when a call comes in whether a landline or a cell phone. Via cell phone, we ask the individual on the phone to confirm their location. If they can't confirm because they don't know where they are or they're moving in a car, we ask them to give us pinpoint landmarks where they might be or where they've just been. Anything that would help us narrow it down.
Sheriff Stanek says there's a broad range of tracing the exact location of cell phone calls, from just a short distance away to as much as 6 miles from where the call was placed. Stanek says that's why it's important not to hang up with 911 dispatchers so they can continue to trace the call.
Governor Mark Dayton made a stop in Brooklyn Center today to thank military veterans for their service.
Thank you very much for your service. We're very grateful to you, but gratitude should mean something more than thank yous. It should mean a job. It should mean that an opportunity.
The governor also thanked hundreds of Minnesota employers for their commitment to hiring military veterans. The governor's stop at the Earl Brown Heritage Center was part of the Minnesota Veterans Career Fair, attended by more than 140 Minnesota employers. And this is the 8th year in a row a career fair for veterans has been held in Brooklyn Center.
It's the largest veterans career fair in the state, and events like this seem to be working. As Carissa Wyant reports, the unemployment rate for Minnesota veterans is much lower than the national average.
The 8th annual Veterans Career Fair is in full swing at the Earl Brown Heritage Center.
It's really exciting to see every year this event gets larger and larger with the number of employers that we have participating.
Veterans like David Skinner are hoping to make connections with potential employers.
Right now, it's mainly just getting that right moment when they have an opportunity and I have the skills they need for that opportunity, and bang.
He was a strategic weapons officer on a ballistic missile submarine. While there aren't any openings for positions like that here, organizers say these veterans have many skills that are transferable to the civilian workforce.
Teamwork and leadership, the ability to work under pressure and through adversity. They are used to working a job until it's done.
David's been unemployed for 4 years and is hoping to land a job in the engineering field.
I'd love to get at least an interview. I'd love to get an offer. There's a couple of companies here that I'm interested in.
Organizers say hiring veterans is a good investment.
In Minnesota, we say that hiring veterans is not goodwill, it's good business.
And employers at the events seem to understand that.
It's a wonderful opportunity for us to take an individual and move them into a profession that is something that they'll have for a lifetime.
The overall unemployment rate for Minnesotans has dropped to its lowest in 7 years, 4.6%. For veterans, that rate is even lower, 4.2%. That's one reason that organizers say events like this are so important. In Brooklyn Center, Carissa Wyant, 12 News.
And as Carissa mentioned, while the Minnesota veteran unemployment rate is 4.2%, the national unemployment rate for veterans is about 10%. Coming up, a woman plans a wedding where every possible dollar spent helps someone in need. We'll show you how she did it.
Then later in sports, a Fastpitch softball team from the Osseo-Maple Grove Association pounds out a win.
But first, we've got some beautiful summer weather coming up for 2 local festivals that begin on Thursday.
Well, if you haven't been involved in the wedding business lately, you might be surprised at the rising cost of tying the knot.
That's right. The average wedding nationwide costs more than $28,000. We found a local bride, though, who is turning the tables on an expensive wedding by making every dollar count. We share her story in today's Money Savers.
When Jamie Hopkins started planning a wedding with her fiancé Paul, she wanted her wedding dollars to matter for more than just creating a special day.
I'm a very conscientious consumer in general, so when it came time to plan my wedding, I knew that I wanted to make careful choices about how I spent my money.
For Jamie, that meant choosing nonprofits like Arcs Value Village as wedding vendors.
A girl doesn't get to write a lot of big checks very many times in her life, so I knew I wanted to make every nickel count.
Jamie gave me all of your guys' sizes, and I've just been shopping over the last couple weeks at all 4 of our Arcs Value Village locations and pulling dresses for you.
Jamie contacted personal shopper Michelle Dustin to help her find bridesmaids dresses.
And I thought, well, that doesn't necessarily fit our typical personal shopping services that we offer because It would be a much bigger task, but I really was up for the challenge.
The bride picked a palette of colors and submitted sizes.
The palette made it really easy because she had a wide range all the way from greens to blues that really kind of opened up options for me.
Then bridesmaids found the combination of dresses that worked.
I tend to kind of shop sort of for convenience, and so I guess I had a little bit of qualms.
But she had no doubts with the selection.
I think this dress is beautiful. That is a good option. I like that one a lot.
There's a lot more choices than I was expecting.
No arguments with the price either. 4 bridesmaids dresses, plus a dress for the bride to wear to the rehearsal dinner, altogether less than $44.
I'm so thankful to Michelle and all the good friends and strangers that have really helped me make, I think, what will be a dream wedding possible.
Now, this isn't a typical service of a personal shopper at Arks Value Village, but Michelle says it's something any bride can do on her own with a flexible color palette and time to look. And Jamie's other plans for a cost-conscious wedding include getting married at a park, using nonprofit vendors for the food, and buying plants to use from a Master Gardener fundraiser. And Mike, she did plan to replant those plants too, so she likes to use everything twice and be very conscious of where money's going.
Someone who just paid for a wedding? Good thinking.
Appreciate that. All right. From pickleball to art shows, you can find something to do at Whiz Bang Days. Everyone can. A preview is coming up.
But first in sports, local high school football players sharpen their skills in summer passing leagues. John Jacobson has that and more when we come back. Well, here's a way for football players to keep sharp on their game even when it's not football season, football light or something like that.
It is, yeah. For the skill positions guys, it's a really good way to keep in shape until high school practices start in August. Osseo High School football coach Darren Lampker claims if there had been summer passing leagues back in the day, he might be playing on Sundays. Sadly, Lampker is settling for hosting a passing league at Osseo. Here's Jason Malillo with more.
On Tuesday nights, the Osseo Orioles welcome Andover, De La Salle, and Edina High Schools for 7-on-7 passing league games. Passing leagues have become ubiquitous over the last few years. Football doesn't have an AAU circuit like basketball, so there wasn't much for players to do in the summer. Football is also unique in that you can't do it alone.
You can go out and shoot baskets in your driveway. You can rollerblade and flip the puck around and things like that, but football is unique as you need other players around you to work on your skill sets, and there's things that you can't do by yourself.
Players are not formally evaluated here, and a lot of the passing league is just about getting together and having fun, but the kids can work on some things that they'll hopefully carry into the fall.
It's tons of mental stuff is what people mess up on, so when we get all this practice and this, where it's not full pads, you actually get to think through everything. I think this helps a ton because then you're not thinking about it during the game and during the fall because you already have it blocked into your mind from doing all these passing leagues during the summer.
You can take a lot from this because you can really tell who's mentally there, who's got the physical skills that can go up and catch the ball, and who can also play some defense and knows where to go and what position to be in.
And the coaches do what they can to make passing league games as realistic as possible.
We hold the snaps to 3 seconds, which is pretty quick. I see some passing leagues that'll go 4 seconds, which is ridiculous. We want that ball out quick, just like it would be on a Friday night.
Passing league games obviously have their limitations, but it's a good way to get kids together on a summer night and throw it around a little bit. And watching these games will definitely get you excited for the upcoming season. Jason Malillo, 12 Sports.
Thanks, Jason. It has been a busy summer for a local Fastpitch softball team. The Osseo-Maple Grove Storm 16-18 just returned from a big tournament in Colorado. It's back to Suburban League play for the Storm. They're in black. North Star of the Anoka Andover Coon Rapids area, though, starts strong. Mackenzie Wilkins with the hit to right. Kelly Schroeder and Mia Hermanson score for a quick 2-0 lead in the top of the first. Next batter, Jocelyn Poole follows with a single to left. And this hit scores Wilkins. Just like that, it's quickly 3-0, just 5 batters into the game. But it's all Osseo-Maple Grove from there. Bailey DeBoer drills a hit to deep center to score Maddie Gordon on the bottom of the first. Storm pulls within 3-1 on DeBoer's triple. Down 3-2 in the third, Sarah Michael lines a one-hop single to center. Grace Park and Taylor Rosacker score in the play, and Osseo-Maple Grove has the lead for good at 4-3. And this may be the biggest hit of the game. Megan Mulcrone drives it to deep left with the bases loaded. 3-run score on the play to make it 7-3. It's a double for Mulcrone and part of a 6-run third inning. The Storm adds a pair of runs in the fourth. Hannah Lunn blasts it to deep center. This one will score a run. Osseo-Maple Grove wins 10-3. They won Game 2 11-6 to stay unbeaten in league play. Minnesota's biggest American Legion baseball tournament of the summer comes to the Metro starting Friday and includes several fields around the area. Maple Grove is one of the sites, and the host team opens play at 9 a.m. against White Bear Lake. Maple Grove plays Friday evening at 7 against Grand Rapids and will continue in pool play in their 6-team pod Saturday and Sunday. At Benilde St. Margaret's, the Chester Bird Post team from Golden Valley opens at home Friday at 3:30 against Marshall, and then we'll play Friday at 6 against Papillon, Nebraska. Wayzata will play games in both Lakeville and Elko. Friday they'll be at Lakeville North High School and face Northfield at 9 a.m. and Rosetown at 11:30. Hopkins plays 2 games Friday at Big Willow Park in Minnetonka. They meet Coon Rapids at 9 a.m., followed by a game versus St. Francis. Westfall Armstrong has just 1 game Friday. They'll face Shakopee at 8 a.m. at Trentino Grace. At Haddocks Field in Bloomington, Brooklyn Park plays at 5 o'clock Friday afternoon versus the Rochester A's. And then the Knights go against Bloomington Gold Friday night at 7:30. Finally, Osseo in the Burnsville pod. They'll play Bloomington Blue at 9 o'clock Friday and then meet Mankato National at 11:30. Champlin is in the North St. Paul for games. Their lone game Friday is against Omaha Concordia. After play is complete Sunday, the tournament continues Monday and Tuesday with the pool play winners. 16 total pools of 6 teams each. It'll be a busy weekend of baseball around the area.
Sounds like it. Thanks, John.
Thank you, John. Well, where can you go this weekend for a meat raffle, a plant show, or a chance to jazzercise with your neighbor?
Where else but Robbinsdale? Whiz Bang Days kicks off, and the parade has a new route too. Find out where it will go coming up.
But first, are you keeping track of clues that could lead to a cash prize? Here's clue number 5 in the quest to help Brooklyn Park's mascot find his golden spud. The festival season continues with a bang.
Whiz Bang, that is. Whiz Bang Day starts on Thursday, a festival that celebrates a wartime publication that came right out of downtown Robbinsdale. The parade is on Sunday. It starts at 3 p.m. It has a new route. It goes down 42nd and West Broadway to 40th Avenue and ending at Sanborn Park. Besides the parade, there are so many things happening in Birdtown. There's a bocce ball tournament at Nona Rosa's, wine tasting at Sacred Heart Church, a craft show, a plant and flower show, community jazzercise, and of course fireworks Sunday night. That's just the tip of the iceberg too. New this year, a special art show at the Robin Gallery and Gallery 5004. Maple Grove Parade is also tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night?
Yeah,
and
live on Channel 12.
That's right.
See you
tomorrow,
later.
everyone.